This right here is a jar of prompts. Prompts for the 10 character challenge. Now, what is the 10 character challenge, you ask? Well, the 10 character challenge is pretty simple. You have one blank body base on top of which you build 10 different characters, different designs, different things, different creativity and all that jazz. You basically test your creativity skills, and that is the whole idea behind this challenge, and that is why I am honestly doing it. What can you do with the same thing drawn in 10 different ways, right? Like, that's the whole point. So yeah, let's do it. The first step right now is to draw the basic base. So let's go ahead and do that first. And then time to prompt it. Prompt and make characters. So in case you're wondering what the hell is a body base, it's basically a three-dimensional base on top of which you draw characters. It's just a blank canvas. That's what a body base is. And the thing with the body bases is that you can draw it however you want to. The way I wanted to do sort of play with this thing was make it very stocky, full of bubbliness and sort of like a balloon, blown up balloon, like a water balloon type thing. That is something that I want to play with because it had these very crazy thick design. The body base that I do have is very stocky, so I am very limited right now already. I have to fit a lot of characters within the stocky frame. How the heck am I going to do that, right? So it's going to be interesting. It's like Dwayne The Rock Johnson's trying to play like a nerdy kid in high school. It's going to be very funny, but you have to try anyway, right? So that's how this game works. All right, time to select the first prompt. Ooh, I like the first prompt. It's multi-arm. So let's do it. So the inspiration for this prompt multi-arm sort of comes from these sculptures and things that I've seen in these old temples, old Indic Hindu temples, throughout India. It has these things added to it, so many elements. It's so aesthetic, and I could not point out why I like it, but I know two reasons. One, it's very graphical. It's very graphic design oriented. It's beautifully presented. Each and every single one of these sculptures, they depicting gods and stuff, but also at the same time, they're also character driven, meaning they have these elements and things that are attached to them which means something. So I really like these two aspects, and I've seen these pictures on Pinterest and I've seen some in real life, and I've always been admired by that, and I wanted to sort of bring those design elements very specifically into this particular design. So that is the whole thing. The face that you're seeing, by the way, is sort of like a very common design aesthetic often used in this side of the world to represent lions and dragons and sometimes even monsters or things like that. I sort of took that thing and put it onto our multi-armed character, and it's coming out good actually. So I kind of like where it's going. All right, so the first one, I'm sort of happy with the design. I was going for this very graphic-y vibe and a bit of cartoonish elements to it, and I kind of like the direction where this thing is headed. So this one is good. Now, I spent a lot of time on this one. What I'm going to do is pick two and go for it. Spirit Beast, Aliensh. So I think I'm going to do the Aliensh first and then Spirit Beast next. Okay, so for the alien creature, here's a story that I have in my head. I'm thinking of this quirky, sweet, nice alien dude who lives in a faraway planet. It's not technologically advanced, but it's a very cold planet. They don't have heat in it. Therefore, this character resembles more of a cold-blooded creature. So that is one. So that's why I added like multiple layers of clothing. And then I want to give him these very primitive clothing, nature, and primitive tools like the spear made out of stone and wood or whatever the thing that exists on that particular planet. And I also wanted to give these sharp teeth-like thing throughout the entirety of the character. Like it's sort of like these dragon teeth type deal, that's attached to the character with a bunch of horns. So it's sort of like a humanoid creature, and it sort of resembles the orc from Lord of the Rings. But yeah, I kind of sort of like the direction that this one went in, and that's the whole deal for this cute orc-like alienish character living in a cold planet with a hoodie on top of it. That's the whole deal. By the way, if you want to know how I design characters from the basic sketch to the very end of the character, download my free ebook called Sketch to Character. My 5 steps for creating my own character is absolutely free. Links are down in the description. It's got everything that you need to know to get started on designing characters. Alright, so for the Spirit Beast prompt, it started out like something like a lion because I didn't know what I was going to draw. And I think I'm already hitting the wall this pretty early in the challenge because, you know, like I'm already running out of ways to use this particular stocky body type to make it suitable for the prompt or the character that we're creating based on that prompt. So I'm already facing some troubles in that I could see things, but like anything with art and life and all that crap, you just have to push through, and every inch you push through, you sort of unlock certain things. It was starting to come out like a lion. I thought it was a lion, like a beast type thing, but it turned into like a lion beast thing with like a mystical hat on, which sort of, you know, I like that vibe with this horn. And I wanted that shamanic look and feel to this particular character. So I went with these weird patterns and designs. And I'm always, as usual, I'm taking a lot of inspiration from old Indic civilizational aesthetics, like old Indian style, Indian civilization based things. And, you know, I'm sort of mixing that with like Native American patterns that I've seen before. So it's sort of like a weird combo that's happening right here. So, you know, this was a fun one. Now that we have completed 3 characters, I want to go at the next 3 with a bit more oomph. So I'm going to take 3 prompts out of this thing and I'm going to hit it. So we've got the Seeker, the Punky Player, and the Monk. So I think these are pretty good prompts. Let's do it. I'm taking the word seeker for explorer, meaning one who's trying to sort of seek something and he's exploring it, or he or she is exploring it, and that is the prompt that I got. So all of a sudden, the thing that came to my mind when I heard the name explorer in my head was a guy or a gal, whoever, in the North Pole wearing these cold jackets, going out in the ice cold frontier to explore something that has not been explored yet. So I kept this one pretty simple, like a guy with a jacket on, with like nice shoes, loose pants. And first I drew him with like a mustache, but then I thought, okay, you know what, I want to create a bit more mystery, so therefore I'm going to lay this mask on him and put on some heavy backpack and gear around him, and then put a beanie on, right? Like you gotta put that beanie on. So that is what I did for the Seeker, you know, it's like simple. Maybe not the apt way to put this, but simple. Now for the Punky Player, what I thought was like a punk, a street side punk kid who just dislikes authority and who wants to sort of roll his own way, you know, like whatever that means. So that was the idea right here. So whenever I hear the word punk, for some reason, you know, like don't be a punk, man. Like you hear that expression, right? When old people look at, say, the younger ones and say, don't be a punk. And all of a sudden, for me, that punky kid always wears this very loose t-shirt and this super baggy jeans, puts his hat on to the side, got some goatee, and always has something on, or some big number or letter written on the shirt. So that's what I think. I want to sort of age him up a little bit. So for that purpose, what I did was added a bit more hair, and the goatee was slightly matured him a bit more. So therefore I added this sort of like this sunshady glasses. So that sort of really worked, and kept the design super simple on this one. So no details, just keeping it very neat, very clean. And that is the story. This kid who hates authority, who's a rebel, but also does some shady crap on the side. So you get the idea. That is the whole story behind this kid right here. Now for the Monk, I started off well, to be honest. You know, I really like the head design, and I thought I'd design a monk who's like happy-go-lucky type of thing, who's like smiley, wise, and gives you wisdom whenever you have life problems. But that is a bit too cliche, and I want to try something like a badass monk. Like that's the kind of monk that I thought would be like a better way to go about it. So I went ahead, gave some mystery on his face by neglecting his eyeballs, and I started out with a weird kind of clothing. Started out around his neck and then slowly started adding a bit more layers to it. It was a lot different when I started, and then I think I accidentally or consciously or unconsciously started to take some inspiration from the Punky kid, from his baggy pants, and put it in this particular character. So that was quite an interesting turn, which I did not expect at all. It is a lot weirder than I wanted it to be. So that's how this thing is turning out to be. Plus, the shoes are like a sandal, because I don't like drawing feet. So therefore I just threw on some sandals on this guy. I put some tats on this thing. So this guy is like a badass monk who will probably kill you. He's an assassin who's let go of normal life and seeking liberation or something. I don't know. That's the story behind this monk. Oh, it's the warrior. Great. Right? I've drawn too many warriors right now, so here's the twist that we're going to add for this one. We're going to keep it as simple as possible. We're going to use less elements as opposed to more and see how we can get this done. Alright, so I've finished the warrior, but the thing is I'm not happy with the design. It is very similar to a previous design of a warrior that I've already made, and it's very, I don't want to repeat that thing, so I'm not happy with it, but I'm just going to still move forward because I don't have time and I want to finish the remainder of the 3 characters. So I'll do this, and if I have time, I'll fix it in the end. So that's the plan. For the spaceman design, I wanted to do something different, which was I didn't want to go with the typical NASA style helmet that space people have, astronauts have. So I went with some sort of a very weird bucket style helmet. And I also thought the thing with design, or when I'm designing characters, is this: I look for purpose and story, and that would inform my design. I was thinking of a spaceman who's not just a spaceman anymore. He's a spaceman of the future. Maybe in the future, space is probably not as safe as we think it is right now. So there might be more, foreign particles that will hit the spaceman, and that's not good. So therefore they're wearing these heavy armor, utilitarian designs and body suits in order to protect them from the nature of space. And that's what's actually informing my design. And in terms of the way I'm drawing it, actually I've seen some of these elements when I was a kid in the video games I used to play. This very futuristic, minimal aesthetic design with a bunch of contour lines in them, and that sort of is fun. I've always loved that sort of design. It's very Japanese-esque, and I sort of like that aspect, and that's how I'm sort of arriving at elements, all the stuff that I've seen in the past and the purpose and the utility of the design itself. So those are things that will inform my decisions, actually. Okay, for the monster character, I just wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to test myself if I can really do a lot with less. So I just gave it a bunch of fur, and I didn't want to do a typical, it's like a monster. I wanted to give some difference to the existence of this character, and I thought, why not put the mouth of the monster in its tummy instead of the face, and we'll have 3 eyes, and the way this character will breathe through the holes that exists on its chest. And that was the idea, extend the face till the torso and make it all furry. So that's making it working with less. And I want to see what I can get, and I got this weird little design. It's simple but effective, and that's all I'll say. All right, we're on to the last prompt, which is the mythical guard. Let's do it. So I thought of creating this monkey character, which is like this old guard, and he has 2 swords, and I knew that monkeys actually have a hand on their foot as well, so that was interesting to design. And plus I wanted to give this monkey these 2 short swords, but they're very thick on the grip because the monkey hands are very big and massive, and I wanted to give it a very Indian-esque clothing style and then take some mythical inspirations from the stories that exist out here. And I sort of liked how this thing turned out. It's a good design. I like it. It's got my cartoon flair as well. That's the thing. All right, I'm done with the final design, and I have to tell you, this, by the way, is one of my favorite designs of all 10. Simply because I just enjoyed the process of making it, and it came out in a very unique and different way, which I didn't expect for it to happen. So yeah, we're done with all the 10 characters. Roll. So that is it for the 10 character challenge. Man, I had fun making this thing. All of a sudden, I broke my creative block into pieces. I broke through and it came out and designed something. Now, if you want to try this challenge by yourself, I've linked down below the base template. Feel free to download that, try your own 10 character challenge, create 10 characters in whatever way you want. Or if you want like a full-on guided workout, I have a full-on 10 character challenge masterclass in my Draw Daily Club, where we also have the Draw Daily 365 program, where you have 365 daily drawing workouts to draw pretty much every single day for 10 minutes a day. So feel free to check that out. It's open for the next 7 days. And that's it. But at the end of the day, I just want to say this, which is try these challenges, try these things. If you're sort of blocked or feel like you are, like you're not able to make anything, try something that exists out there and make something and ship it. Put it out there. It'll break all that block that you have and it'll get you making again, and that is the most important thing. So hope you had fun. I had fun. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.